This is what we're here for. Why then are we offended? Why do we complain? This is what we're here for. No one said life was easy. No one said it would be fair. Don't forget, though, that you come from a long, unbroken line of ancestors who survived unimaginable adversity, difficulty, and struggle. It's their genes and their blood that run through your body. Right now, without them, you wouldn't be here. You're an heir to an impressive tradition, and as their viable offspring, you're capable of what they are capable of. You're meant for this, bred for it. Just something to keep in mind if things get tough. Blow your own nose. We cry to God Almighty, how can we escape this agony? Fool, don't you have hands? Or could it be God forgot to give you a pair? Sit and pray your nose doesn't run. Or rather just wipe your nose and stop seeking a scapegoat. The world is unfair. The game is rigged. So-and-so has it out for you. Maybe these theories are true, but practically speaking, for the right here and now, what good are they to you? That government report or that sympathetic news article isn't going to pay the bills or rehab your broken leg or find that bridge loan you need. Succumbing to the self-pity and woe is me narrative accomplishes nothing. Nothing except sapping you of the energy and motivation you need to do something about your problem. We have a choice. Do we focus on the ways we have been wronged, or do we use what we've been given and get to work? Will we wait for someone to save us, or will we listen to Marcus Aurelius' empowering call to get active in your own rescue? If you care for yourself at all, and do it while you can, that's better than just blowing your own nose, which is a step forward in itself. When to stick and when to quit. Think of those who, not by fault of inconsistency, but by lack of effort, are too unstable to live as they wish, but only live as they have begun. In The Dip, Seth Godin draws an interesting analogy from the three types of people you see in line at the supermarket. One gets in a short line and sticks to it no matter how slow it is or how much faster the others seem to be going. Another changes lines repeatedly based on whatever he thinks might save a few seconds. And a third switches only once, when it's clear her line is delayed and there is a clear alternative, and then continues with her day. He's urging you to ask, which type are you? Seneca is also advising us to be this third type. Just because you've begun down one path doesn't mean you're committed to it forever, especially if that path turns out to be flawed or impeded. At that same time, this is not an excuse to be flighty or incessantly noncommittal. It takes courage to decide to do things differently and to make a change, as well as discipline and awareness to know that the notion of, oh, but this looks even better, is a temptation that cannot be endlessly indulged either. Finding the right mentors. We like to say that we don't get to choose our parents, that they were given by chance. Yet we can truly choose whose children we'd like to be. We are fortunate enough that some of the greatest men and women in history have recorded their wisdom and folly in books and journals. Many others have had their lives chronicled by a careful biographer, from Plutarch to Boswell to Robert Caro. The literature available at your average library amounts to millions of pages and thousands of years of knowledge, insight, and experience. Maybe your parents were poor role models, or you lacked a great mentor. Yet if we choose to, we can easily access the wisdom of those who came before us, those whom we aspire to be like. We not only owe it to ourselves to seek out this hard-won knowledge, we owe it to the people who took the time to record their experiences to try to carry on the traditions and follow their examples, to be the promising children of these noble parents. Brick by boring brick. You must build up your life action by action, and be content if each one achieves its goal as far as possible, and no one can keep you from this. But there will be some external obstacle, perhaps, but no obstacle to acting with justice, self-control, and wisdom. But what if some other area of my action is thwarted? Well, gladly accept the obstacle for what it is and shift your attention to what is given, and another action will immediately take its place. one that better fits the life you are building. Elite athletes in collegiate and professional sports increasingly follow a philosophy known as the process. It's a philosophy created by University of Alabama coach Nick Saban, who taught his players to ignore the big picture, important games, winning championships, the opponent's enormous lead, and focus instead on doing the absolutely smallest things well, practicing with full effort, finishing a specific play, converting on a single possession. A season lasts months, a game lasts hours, catching up might be 4 touchdowns away, but a single play is only a few seconds. And games and seasons are constituted by seconds. If teams follow the process, they tend to win. They overcome obstacles and eventually make their way to the top without ever having focused on the obstacles directly. If you follow the process in your life, assembling the right actions in the right order, one right after another, you too will do well. Not only that, you will be better equipped to make quick work of the obstacles along that path. You'll be too busy putting one foot in front of the next to even notice the obstacles were there. Solve problems early. There is no vice which lacks a defense, none that at the outset isn't modest and easily intervened. But after this, the trouble spreads widely. If you allow it to get started, you won't be able to control when it stops. Every emotion is at first weak. Later it rouses itself and gathers strength. As it moves along, it's easier to slow it down than to supplant it. Rives Publilius Cyrus reminds us with an epigram, are easiest to cross at their source. That's what Seneca means too. The raging waters and deadly currents of bad habits, ill-discipline, chaos, and dysfunction, somewhere they began as no more than just a slight trickle. Somewhere they are, a placid lake or pond, even a bubbling underground spring. Which would you rather do? Nearly drown in a dangerous crossing in a few weeks, or cross now? Well, it's still easy. It's up to you.